Guess who's back, everybody? It's fucking me, okay? I'm back. I'm Agostino Zoida, and I'm the host of the Homeschooled podcast, and it's good to have you. Thanks for stopping by. I'm here by myself today. No guest, no co-host. It's time for another solo podcast for me. We haven't done one in a while, and in case you guys might have noticed, we haven't had too many guests the last couple of times. We did a Laughter Piece Theater, which is always just me and my co-host Kevin Lyons, and then we did a Labor Day special, which was just me and Kevin Lyons talking about jobs and stuff and how we got where we are. Part of the reason is that it's so hot. Like, we kind of had like a heat wave here the last couple of weeks, and it's a little too hot in the garage for me to force a guest in here. So number one, waiting for this. It's September. I'm hoping this heat wave's not gonna last too much longer. Number two, I don't really want, I don't want to force no guests in here when it's too hot. But it seems to be getting better. And then I haven't done a solo podcast in a while, and I have a couple of topics that I want to go over with you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But first, this episode is brought to you by Boomer Natural Wellness. All right, you guys, this is the last time I'm going to be telling you about them. Boomer Natural Wellness is going to get you 20% off all of their natural CBD infused products, okay? Organic CBD products, okay, everybody? This is going to be the last time I'm going to be able to get you 20% off right now this week, okay? Head over there this is it, you guys. This is it, okay? First week in September. This is your last chance to get 20% off. Let me tell you a little bit about Boomer Natural Wellness, okay? If you're going to try some CBD products for whatever reason, anxiety, pain, stress, the lotion, the pills, the gummies, help sleep, if you're going to do it, go organic. And if you're not sure which ones are organic or which ones aren't, play it safe and just go to Boomer Natural Wellness. Okay, you guys? I'm going to be honest with you for a second here and just tell you that I used the products. They sent me a bunch of samples. I mentioned to you in the past that I got a bum knee from old injuries. Plus, I'm playing tennis now, so the knee acts up. But I also gave a bunch to my mom, and that's because she has some back pain, and not only that, but like some arthritis pain in her hand, and she tries a bunch of stuff, but not everything really helps. And she's never tried CBD infused products before, so I got her some organic CBD products, the lotion and the rub for your joints, the rub for your back. Oops, sorry about that. I hit the intro a little too soon. But anyway. And she said that it worked like so fast, and there was one day where her back was acting up way worse than usual, so she didn't really know what else to do. She was trying everything. She took a bunch of like painkillers, and nothing was really working. But plus you can't take too many of those painkillers. It's not good for you internally. So just rubbing some of that lotion on it, and apparently, I mean, she swears by it, she felt like an instant relief. So that's just for me, you guys. I'm just giving you what I heard, okay? Also, it helped my knee out a lot. Put it on before I go to bed or after I play tennis. And if you haven't tried CBD products at all, I really, recommend it. It's not something that, a lot of people have never tried. They're afraid they're going to get high. You're not going to get high. It just helps you out, and there's so many different products. It could even help you sleep, okay? So you got lotion. You've got the oils that you can take, the drops, the gummies, helps you sleep, helps with anxiety, helps with stress. And Boomer Natural Wellness even has pet products. Don't you think your pet gets stressed out, especially when you leave? You have one of those pets that doesn't like when you leave, and then, people come in to take care of them, and they get all stressed. Whatever the reason is, pets get stressed too. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? So head over to Boomer Natural Wellness right now and check out all their products, including the pet products. And at the checkout, no matter how much or how little you're buying, at checkout, use the promo code LITTLED20, okay? That's the word spelled out little, the letter D, the number 20, to get 20% off your entire order, okay? Also, this episode is brought to you by the Too High McFly podcast. If you guys are looking for a podcast that is all about movies and shows, this is the podcast for you. I know you like podcasts, and all your podcasts don't always have to be about stand-up comedy or, a lot of you guys have like the same ones that you go in. But if you're a big movie person or you like talking characters or shows, check out Two High McFly podcast. It might be the perfect podcast for you to listen about all the latest movies and old movies and reviews and their opinions and comments on things. They have several different segments on the one podcast. So you've got they have a horror segment called Terrorphobia. They got a crossover segment where they talk about movies that cross over, and then overall just the latest shows and movies that come out and them reviewing them and reactions and stuff like that. So give it a try. If you're looking for a movie podcast, I know in the past, because I love movies, I always try to find a podcast that was about movies, and I found a few, and I never really found one that I really liked. Fuck, I keep doing that. Anyway, I don't know why. Just the people that were on them, the format of the show, I never really liked them. And this is before my co-host Kevin Lyons came out with the Two Eye McFly podcast. And so you know what, you guys, if you had trouble finding a movie podcast out there, give it a try. The link is in the description to their YouTube page, but they're on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify, and YouTube. So give them a check out. All right, you guys. Okay, so we're doing a solo podcast. It's just me. I'm Agostino Zoida. This is the Homeschooled podcast. Now let's play the damn intro music.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Homeschooled podcast. Homeschool.
The Homeschool podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
No, okay.
I don't want to do that at all. And welcome back to the Homeschool podcast. Sorry about all that with the intro music. I hit it a bunch of times there in the beginning. That's what happens when my co-host is not here. Everything falls apart. I don't know what I'm doing technologically. I don't even know if that's a word. But anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in. This is a solo podcast. There's no co-host. There's no guest. I don't know. This might be like the fifth or sixth one I've done. Maybe fifth to be honest with you. And I like doing them. In the beginning, I was super nervous and didn't feel like I could do a solo podcast. It's hard to sit here and talk to nobody. So, but I got used to it the first few times I did it, and I got a lot of good feedback. People apparently really like them, and I really only do it when I have specific topics that I want to talk to you guys about, and I'll write them down to make sure that I don't miss anything. So let me go over my notes here for a second, and I'm going to get into exactly the different things that I'm going to talk to you guys about, okay? One thing I want to talk to you about, I'm breaking it down into different categories, is don't let things get you down, okay? That's one thing that we're going to talk about. Another thing we're going to talk about is how the universe looks out for you. Let's see. I want to talk to you guys about this new challenge I've given myself, and writing, and my memory loss problem. We're gonna talk about that. But first, let's start at the beginning. Okay, starting at the beginning, it's gonna be don't let things get you down. Now, when I say things like this, okay, it could come across like I'm very hypocritical, because you guys hear me on this podcast all the time complain. I talk about things that bother me in the comedy world, in this industry. I talk about the things that I don't think are right or that are wrong, and basically I bitch sometimes, okay? And for me to come on here and tell you guys, or to tell anybody, don't let things get you down, it's very hypocritical of me, okay? Because it's easy to let things get you down. I do it all the time. And the only reason why I'm saying it to you now, don't let things get you down, is because I've come to the realization, and I come to this realization maybe once every month or every 2 months, is that the thing that's gotten you down is not so bad, and you can get out of it. And it's just preparing you for the good, and you're on the right path, basically, you know. And so when I say these things like, don't let things get you down, which is the first topic I'm going to talk about, I'm not saying this because I think I'm better than you, or I'm trying to teach you something, or, I want to be fucking Captain Motivational Mondays and inspirational speaker, or, it's fucking Wisdom Wednesday. Okay, no, that's not why I'm telling you guys these things. I say these things, it's because I just went through it. I'm saying them for me mostly. And maybe there's someone out there who's going through something similar or will eventually go through this. And hopefully this is helping you, because I know that there's a lot of newer comics that listen to this show, and you're going to hit to these points. These are things that you're going to go through. And I hope that you don't take them as hard as I do and get yourself down as much as I do and did and probably will continue to do. And if you're not a comic, I'm just saying, I don't know where you might be going through something similar right now, and I you don't need me to tell you this, but sometimes you do need to hear it. When you hear it from somebody else that they're going through it too, it just hits you. And people all the time hit me up and they go, I needed to hear that today. Like sometimes on Twitter or on Instagram, I'll post something about like work ethic or forcing yourself to get out there and work even though you're tired. I post things like that on my social media all the time, and people always write like, I needed to hear that today. They'll get back to me, because I don't just keep it generic like that. I get specific, like, I know what it's like having a 9-to-5 job, and then when you get off work and you're dog tired, especially when they're making you do overtime. You get out of work like late 7 o'clock after you've been there all day, and you were so busy you didn't get to take a break. You want to go home, take a shower, lay down, put on some TV, relax, get your mind off things. And this is one thing that I'm always talking about, because I know what it's like. I've been there, and you have to force yourself to get up, go out, go home, shower, get dressed, go back out there in the world, okay? Because you need to focus on the thing that you're passionate about, not just the thing that the other guy who pays you minimum wage is passionate about. I know you get to focus on that all damn day, okay? So these are points that I get out all the time in social media. I try to, in a friendly way, push these out, and I'm always afraid that people are going to think I'm Mr. Preachy and fucking, hashtag Wisdom Wednesday or whatever the hell they call it. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because, like I said, I've been there. It gets me down. And if I'm getting down by it, someone else is getting down by it. And mostly people write back to me and go, I needed to hear that today, So please, whatever I say, don't take it like I'm, I think I'm better than anybody, or like I'm trying to preach or something like that. It's just what I'm going through. I'm saying it for me, and if it helps you too, then that's just an added bonus for me. Okay, so moving down the line of not letting things bother you. I feel like excluded sometimes and forgotten, and I've talked about it on here before. And it's easy to feel that way, probably in most industries, but I know for a fact, from my experience in the stand-up comedy community, it's easy to feel excluded or forgotten, and or excluded and or forgotten. It's and it really gets you down. This is one that really gets you down, and you're going to be going through it. And you're probably already going through it on different levels. Like if you just started stand-up comedy, you're going through that feeling, but on a smaller level. Like you walk into an open mic, your second time there, the guy who hosts it, you thought the first time you had like a good rapport with him, and you guys had a fun little chat afterwards, and then you think next time you're going to go in and you're going to be cool with the guy, and maybe he's going to start putting you on earlier or more often or giving you more time or something like that. Then you walk in and the guy's like, like, what's your name again? And you go like, oh man, like you went in with all these high expectations. Like these are like small levels of it, and it just gets worse and worse. It's so easy to feel excluded or forgotten. All you have to do nowadays is open your phone, throw on Instagram, and you can look at all the comics. Obviously, if you're a comic, you follow comics for anywhere from like, the bottom starting out comics to the top of the of the food chain comics, and you follow them all, or whatever industry that you're into. You follow other people in your industry. Okay, so all you got to do is open your phone, look at Instagram, and you'll feel excluded. That's it, that's what it takes. You don't even have to be in any career or industry to realize this. That's just a normal reaction. People who are not in the entertainment industry, who are just on social media for fun and to be social, they post videos of what they're doing all the time. You always notice that, right? Everybody's posting of what they're doing that's so great. Do you know why people post things that they're doing that's so great? Is to let you know, look, I'm doing great things. And the reason they do that is because they always feel like they're not doing great things. And then they go on Instagram and look at other people doing great things. They feel excluded. So now they want to post them doing great things. That's all anything becomes about. Going out to dinner, vacationing, experiencing an event, a concert. All it is look at this great thing I'm doing. I bet you're not doing something this great. And that's where it comes from. That really is where that comes from. And why do they do that? Because they see other people doing great things and they are trying to compete because you feel like you don't do stuff. You look at other people doing fun stuff and you feel jealous, so then you put stuff up to make other people jealous. That's basically what it is, okay? Now, if you're in an industry, now this is regular people who are just on social media for fun and socializing, okay? If you're in an industry and you're on social media for your livelihood towards what you do, my case, a comedian, imagine opening up your Instagram. You feel excluded immediately. Everybody is on the same show together. There's all these different cliques in comedy. Those guys always hang together. Those guys always hang together. And when you see it, it's easy to get excluded and feel excluded, okay? And then, when you look at comedy flyers, you'll see like the same people on it. Every day I open my Instagram and I see the same comics on the same shows. And it gets like, how come they get to do it all the time? When I go and I want to get booked, they tell me that they're booked and they try to and they book out for 6 months. Well, then how come the last 5 weeks you had the same exact comics on your lineup, And then that comic's friends on it too. And it's just it's clicks. It's who you know. It's just, and it's easy to feel excluded. But guess what? You follow the same people on social media. Of course you're going to see the same things all the time. It's psychological, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's normal. You're going to feel excluded. Okay? It might, in a way, be true. You might be excluded, but it's not deliberate. It's just what's in your face right now. You go out to other comedy clubs and you see that person knows that person. You see who's friends with who, and then, you can feel excluded. Even if you have your own group of friends that you hang with. The other one's always better. The grass is always greener. You can't go anywhere. You go somewhere nice, someplace Instagram worthy, vacation, a little trip. You go to the beach, you go to a concert, you go to a restaurant. You do something nice and something else always seems better. The grass is always greener on the other side. You could be you can be out. Let's say, you go out for the weekend, you go away to, the lake, or you rent a cabin by the lake or on the lake or by the beach or something. So let's just say you go away and then there's there's a beautiful restaurant on the lake. So you go to have cocktails and you sit outside on the balcony facing the lake. And you're having cocktails and the weather's nice and you're enjoying yourself and you're taking pictures and videos to show everybody on Instagram the great thing that you're doing. But you'll sit there and you'll look out onto the lake and see all the boats and see people on their boats, maybe drinking or having a good time, having little parties on their boats and stuff like that. And you think to yourself, man, I wish I had a boat. I want to be on that boat. You might even think, I wish I knew friends who had a boat. And you'll want to be there. You can't just enjoy where you are. You can't just go, hey, Yesterday, I was sitting at a desk working my ass off. Today, I took myself to the lake and I'm enjoying beautiful weather, having a drink at this beautiful restaurant overlooking the lake. You can't see that. That gets you in for 5 seconds. But then you start focusing on people down at the lake and you want to be them. And I think that if you're down on those boats on the lake, because I've been there before too, and using this as just a scenario, but it applies to everything. When you're down there, you're looking up at the people in the restaurant. Your point of view is, look how fun that restaurant looks. You're on a boat, partying with your friends, having drinks, or sitting there having dinner on a boat. I mean, that's nice. Then you look up and you just see this big patio, this big balcony with beautiful lights. You know how restaurants on the balcony will hang gorgeous lights, and then as it starts to get dark, it looks really cool. And there's music coming from up there, and you just see people having drinks and laughing and stuff. And you think like, well, how nice to be up there. And they're thinking how nice to be down there. No matter where you are, you're not looking at yourself. You're looking out. And everything just seems better. And why it seems better is because you're not enjoying what you should be enjoying based on what's right here. If you were less worried about what's everyone out doing out there, you'd be enjoying your moment right now. Okay? It seems like I went on to a little rant here, but this makes sense. This applies to everything. This applies to social life on Instagram and in person. This applies to career. You go out to a comedy club or you open your Instagram and you see everybody doing something better than you and you feel excluded. It's so common, it's okay, but it's so easy to do. You're going to have moments like that. I'm going to keep having moments like that because I'm not perfect. And I'm not going to realize it when I'm in the moment, but hopefully we can all keep that in mind, for the future, that you should just stop and enjoy where we are right now. Because where you are is where everybody else wants to be. And someone is looking at you where you are and envying your position and what you're doing. Someone somewhere is. Enjoy what you have. I'm in my place. I'm learning to grow. I'm learning to build. And that's a part of the journey, and you should just enjoy it. Okay? Being forgotten. You might have heard me talk about this a couple of times on other episodes of the podcast where I get frustrated where people don't remember me and I feel like I met them a bunch of times. And sometimes I get angry. Sometimes I get sad. It could really get you down because I think to myself, am I forgettable? A part of this industry is being remembered because there's 1,000 funny comics. You think to yourself like, well, I'm funny, I'm talented, so why not me? But yeah, you are funny and you are talented. You have a lot of talent. But you know what? So do 20 other thousand people in your city, at least. So what makes you different? So that's the key. The key is not only to be funny, the key is to be remembered. Okay? So I've known that for many years, but I keep running into this problem where I meet people and I've met them before and they don't remember me. So I started to get scared. Like, am I not memorable? That's a huge problem in this business. Okay? You're screwed if you're not remembered. Screwed. Okay? I know that I had a lot of people in the past that I got this all the time. But when I first started stand-up, I was really heavy. I was like 240, 250 pounds, and I lost a lot of weight. And I stopped working at this club where I was working at, and I just, pursued stand-up on my own. And when I went to all the other clubs for like the first time, nobody who I met 100 times, people associated me as someone else because like I was like this fat guy, and now I'm like this thinner guy, and I was out all the time, and it took a while for people to like put two and two together. I was the same person. Some people who I don't see that often still don't, but now I'm getting mad that people that I meet recently, I'm not being remembered, and it just goes along with that feeling like excluded and forgotten. A couple of weeks ago, I went into the Comedy Store. I was out anyway over the hill. I didn't have a spot at the Comedy Store, but if you're over the hill, pop in, show your face. So that's what I do. And this one particular night, I went in there, and this one, not even a door guy. I really like and get along really well with all the door guys at the store. But there was this one guy. He's like a security guard, okay? And I met this guy probably 10 to 12 times, and we've had conversations and stuff like that. And sometimes when I go to the OR, I try to stay out of the way in the original room at the Comedy Store or anywhere there. You got to try to stay out of the way, and there's rules that you got to know, chairs that you're not supposed to sit in, and rooms that you're not supposed to go hang out in unless you're a paid regular. And I really try to respect all that. And most of the door guys I know that when Joey's on, like Joey and I are friends, and Joey always likes me to hang in there, and I watch his sets and stuff. And there's this one area by the front door where I'll go stand to watch his set, and I only stand in there for 15 minutes while he's on only. I don't watch the whole show standing in the way. And I usually go stand over there, and whoever's doing the door, I usually know. And I'll just say, like, hey, I'm just going to stand here for like a couple minutes and just watch Joey. And everyone's like, yeah, dude, that's cool, because they know me, And this guy happened to be there. Which, like, he's never in that position at that door. So I go over, and I figured he's going to know me too. I'd met him like 10 or 12 times. I go over there, go, hey, man, do you mind if I stand here for a minute? And he like looked at me and gave me like this weird look, like I was crazy or something. And I was just like, hey, I'm just going to sit here for like a second. Is that cool? And like, I realized that if you're not a comic, that's like not okay, because they'll tell regular audience all the time, hey, you can't just stand here to watch one person. You have to go to the front, buy a ticket, find your seat. Like, that's the rules. But like, and then he was just like, who are you? Are you a comic? And I was just like, really, bro? Like, we've met like so many times. And I left there with like a really bad taste in my mouth, and it really got to me. And then the next time I went back, I saw the dude again, and I really had like this hatred in my heart. I don't hate him. I didn't hate him, but you had like this negative feeling in your heart when I saw him. It was just like, man, that guy made me feel so awful. It's through the night. I come all the time. I come at least twice a week to the store. I try to like show my face, and like, and I felt like, for what? For nothing? Like, people don't remember me. I can't even stand somewhere for a couple minutes. And like, I just like, that guy like really discouraged me, and I left. And so the next time I saw him, I felt really like this discouragement when I saw him. Like, I didn't like him. And that was my own burden that I was carrying, That guy has got nothing against me. I was having a bad week. I was already feeling excluded and forgotten. This was reassurance. Just left a bad taste in my mouth. Nothing to do with that guy. That guy sees 1,000 comics a week. What kind of an asshole am I to fucking hold a grudge or to even let it bother me? But I did. And you know what I started doing now when I go there? I just make a point, and I do this all the time now. I make a point to like genuinely be nicer and go out of my way to say hi to people that I feel like don't like me, or that I don't like them, or have a bad feeling about them, and or that didn't remember me. And I'm like now trying to, it's kind of like killing with kindness sort of thing, but at the same time, it's just, you're being remembered. Now I go there and I just go like, hey man, I make sure I spend a little extra time and chat with them, ask how they're doing. You should always do that as a new comic. If you go to a comedy club, always take a little time and chat with the door guys. How are you guys doing? Don't just walk in, I'm a comic, I'm special. No, show them their ID. I went there the other day. One door guy who was checking IDs, the security guard was checking IDs, and when I go to the comic store, I always pull my ID out when I go through the front door, because the security guys got to check the IDs. And then one of the door guys was over there, and they're like, oh, he's fine. They told me. And I'm just like, but let the security guard do his job. You know what I mean? Because his boss is watching him, making sure he's checking IDs. Or also cops go there undercover. Like, just let him do his job. Don't walk into a club and be like, oh, I'm a comic. You should know that. Don't have that attitude. Which, like, I don't. I don't have that attitude. But, like, when you put a lot of time in, though, and you meet someone like 10 or 12 times, and you're unforgettable, it's sad, okay? It just really gets you down. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is rejection and not getting work. So, a couple episodes ago, you heard me talk about how I had like nothing. No gigs, no paid gigs, no free gigs, no local spots. And it was really depressing me. So I started hitting it hard. You started hearing me talk about how I emailed everybody, texted everybody. And that, I mean, that sort of kind of worked. At least I got a couple of spots out of it for the remainder of the summer. And so that's what I was talking about. That's another thing that you can let get you down, you know. This is like a weird job, you guys. This is a weird industry. And it's not only the industry, it's you. Like as a person inside, how easily you let things overwhelm you. It's just it hits you so much harder in this. I'm sure a lot of industries. I'm just relating everything to stand up. It just hits you so hard, the rejection, or the slowness. You know, any other business you go like, oh, it's slow. Well, yeah, it's slow. Of course it's slow, bro. You know, you own a restaurant. It's like, oh, man, why are we so slow tonight? The Italian restaurant, it's good food, isn't it? But it's like, bro, fucking Dodgers are in the World Series. You know what I mean? Like, you know when things are slow, for what reason. But when stand-up comedy, and you're a comic, and things get slow, like there's slow season, it hits you. And you don't think, well, yeah, it's slow because, it's summer. And you don't think things like that. You think like, I'll never work again. Your brain immediately goes there. Like I'll never work again. This might be my spiral down. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. In the last 2 months, when this summer was like, this is like one of the most brutal summers I ever had with no shows and no bookings. I thought like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I literally thought like, I think this is my way out. I'm on my way out of this business. I think that I'm done. Because I've had like not even spots to work out new stuff in, like nothing. And I just thought like, if I'm not getting on stage that much, and I'm not working on new stuff, I'd have no paid gigs, and then what am I? Am I even a comic then? If I'm not getting on stage, am I even a comic? Like I literally went right to, I may never work again. And it's scary. It's depressing. Really depressing. Because then you go like, so am I done? Am I out? Does it count as quitting? If the industry quit on you, does that count as me quitting? You start, all these things start going through your head. And it's really depressing, okay? You think, there's no jobs coming your way. And all of a sudden, and this is where I'm getting into how the universe looks out to you, but all of a sudden, the phone just started ringing, you guys. I'd love to book things out months in advance. I'd love to look at my calendar and be like, I'm booked for the next 2 or 3 months, or I'm booked for the rest of the year. I would love it. It just doesn't work out that way sometimes. And it's scary. Normally, in my first half of doing stand-up, actually, the majority of me doing stand-up, I've been doing stand-up like 10 and a half years now, and the majority of me doing stand-up, my experience has always been that the holidays is where it slows down, which like it does, it can. But this is like, I don't know if it's like hitting a new level of comedy. Like I get booked like no more opening and shit. It's all like feature through headlining work or things like that. Like maybe those positions are like really slow in the summer. Because I used to always just struggle for work like around Thanksgiving through Christmas, and then I would struggle for work through New Year's, even though New Year's is a big comedy night and like a lot of comics work. But I was always struggling for work for New Year's, So like maybe now that I'm switching positions of, not just MC and opener, I'm getting now feature, co-headlining, and headlining gigs. And apparently when you're that, you work holidays. And openers don't. And, now this year, for the first time ever, my summer was slow. And I guess that makes sense. I was talking to other comics, and they're like, yeah, summer's always like this. And I'm like, really? It never has been for me. I don't know. Maybe MCs and openers, they get more summer work. I don't know why, because maybe it's all like, the local shows. They always have like a bunch of comics doing short sets and stuff. But when you're like, getting gigs featuring and headlining, you'll get hired in the holidays. You'll do the day before Thanksgiving. You'll do Christmas weeks when everybody's off work and school. You'll do New Year's Eve, which is a huge paying comedy night. Last year was the first time ever, last Christmas was the first time ever that I was busy holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I was busy from like November all the way to July 4th. I was busy. When I got back from Minneapolis from working the July 4th weekend, boom, dead. I got nothing in the summer. And I've talked about it with you guys before on this podcast. That's why I started reaching out. I'm hitting it hard. But it's just, it gets you down. You can't help it. You feel like you'll never work again. You can't help it. It's just going to get you down. But September 1st, I'm not making this up, you guys. September 1st, all of a sudden, the phone started ringing. If you go to my website right now, September's almost all booked. The whole month. I'd love to tell you that October and November was like booked out too. You want to book months out. It just doesn't happen. You got to go out. No one's going to come knock on your door and go like, hey, do you want some comedy dates? It doesn't happen. You got to go out. You got to be out. You got to email. You got to text. You got to call. You got to make connections. You got to make friends by being out. And then they recommend places. Oh, you'll do great at this place. This guy books it. Here's his email. That's just how it goes. But I'm not kidding you guys. September 1st, all of a sudden, the phone started ringing. Dates for September. Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? My calendar for September's full now. And that's great. I mean, it's great. And this is how depressing this can be when you're not getting work and you feel like you're never going to work again. And comedy. People want to know why is comedy so depressing. Let me tell you how depressing that it is. Earlier this week, I had a phone call. I didn't recognize the phone number, and it was from like a local California number. So I didn't think it was anything booking wise. And if it's in California and it's booking, I'll usually like know the area or know the number. So I just got a weird number. I go to voicemail, and I listened to my voicemail that they left me, and it was a lady booking a gig up north, and she left me a voicemail about how she heard about me through Jimmy Schubert, and he highly recommended me for the gig, and she'd love to give me the dates and invite me out to do the show, and she left me about a 45-second voicemail. And this is how depressing not working is, you guys. I listened to that voicemail probably 6 times. Just because it felt good. It felt like the spell was broken. I'm like, oh my God, I might actually work. Not only that, but I also have like probably like all these new bits. I have probably like 20 minutes worth of material that I haven't been able to work because of like not having spots. So like now I'm going from I might not ever work again. Am I even considered a comic anymore because I've worked so little the last couple months, got on stage so little, to I have new stuff to work on and I have shows coming up. And that is where I'm going to get into the universe always takes care of you. Not always. This is one thing that, okay, so when I'm talking about the universe taking care of you, here's one thing we're going to talk about. Not always. You can't just sit there and expect things to happen. The universe takes care of you if you take care of business first. Okay? You have to take care of business first. You have to do your part, and then the universe will take care of you. Okay? You can't just go sit on the couch and wait for the phone to ring. It's not about the universe helping you. It's about you not giving up when things were bad and hanging in there the entire time, all the way until the end when something good comes out of it. I sat there and I listened to that voicemail probably like 6 times in a row, partially because it just felt good and it was nice to hear, and partially it was just I wanted to be sure. A couple times I went like, did I miss something? Am I sure that she was trying to reach me? You know? Wait, what was the dates that she was saying? Like, I couldn't. I had such a dry spell. It's so depressing, you guys. You have no idea that I had to listen to that over and over again, that voicemail. Obviously, of course, I called her back right away. But anyway, it's just that's just like the point. And I was talking to Joey Diaz today, and I've briefly mentioned to him how this summer's been rough on me and stuff like that. And today I was talking to him. We were just chatting. We call each other to check up on each other. We don't usually talk comedy, but he just asked how things are going, and I just said, like, man, the phone finally started ringing. Like, can you believe it? September 1st. And he's like, bro, that's how it always is. You know what I mean? It's tough for everybody during the summer. And then he's like, all of a sudden, September 1st. Like, I couldn't believe it. The phone started ringing. And then, and Joey goes, of course the phone's going to ring for you. He goes, because you're a good guy. I mean, he's being nice, but part of it's true. Not saying like, well, I'm a good guy. I'm saying like, he goes like, yeah, of course the phone's gonna ring, because you're a good guy and you do what you're fucking supposed to do, and you work hard. And that's the point here today. Is the universe is gonna look out for you, but you got to do your part too. Okay. Even though I was having those thoughts like I'll never work again, and I can't work on my new stuff, and is this my downfall? Is this me leaving it? Am I almost done? I was having all those thoughts, but even though I was having those, I was still forcing myself to go out. I was still forcing myself to send emails and texts and phone calls and reaching out to people and keeping up on my Instagram, keeping up with my podcast. Very important. As depressed as I got, never let that podcast go down. If anything, I try to build it up more, because no excuses. I don't have any shows, so why shouldn't the show be better? The podcast show be better? The point is not giving up. As depressed as I was and as down as I was, I forced myself to go out. I hung out at clubs, like 3 or 4 times a week. Still put out 2 episodes of podcasts a week. I still maintain my social media, which is, I don't do it for being social and fun. I do it because I'm a comic. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have a social media, to be honest with you guys. But, making sure I tweet every day, making sure I put out motivational stuff every day, making sure I always have Monday through Friday, 24/7, not 24/7, 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I have constant Instagram stories and at least 1 or 2 engagements on my actual Instagram posts. Saturday and Sunday, I do no stories, I do no posts. But I kept doing that out, making sure all that stuff keeps up, keep going out. Comedy Store every Monday this summer, you guys. I was at the Comedy Store every friends and family potluck Monday in the original room. Every Monday this summer. Didn't miss one. Didn't get up once. Keep that in mind. Didn't get up once. You've heard me bitch about how hard it is to get up in that friends and family. There's a strict schedule. The guys that are hosting, they got to do their job. I don't like bothering. I know the deal. You heard me talk about it, okay? You heard me talk about, almost getting on and getting bumped by somebody. By the paid regulars part. Keep that in mind. Every Monday this summer, and even before that, but we're just talking about the summer right now, didn't miss one. I was sitting there, front and center, just in case there was room for me. Didn't get on once. That's me doing my part. And then the universe is going to do the rest. That's what I mean by the universe is going to look out for you if you're doing the right thing. You're getting out there, you're putting in the work. Okay? So I was out there every Monday. I typically go every Tuesday. Had a couple spots here and there. Like I said, if you get home from work and you're tired, or from whatever you're doing, or you feel like staying home, you feel like watching a movie or something instead, or just relaxing, man, I'm going to take a break. Listen, guys, I took one weekend off and I went to the lake with my wife, reset my mind, but that was about it. And you got to just force yourself to keep going out there. As much as you feel down and it's like it's not working, as much as things weren't working. When you're not getting jobs, you go like, well, it's not working, so maybe I should just stop doing it and wasting my time. It's not. You're putting it in. Keep going. Keep your head down. Keep going forward. It works. The phone rang. Lady left a voicemail. Emails coming in. earlier this week, I went out to the Comedy Store on Monday, even on Labor Day. What do you think? I was sitting there doing barbecues, jumping up and down with cocktails, and it's Labor Day. I'm not going to go down to the Comedy Store. Fuck you. That's the day you should go to the Comedy Store, is on Labor Day, because most comics who get their Monday night spot all the time maybe are going to go to a barbecue themselves. And I thought, like, hey, maybe I'll get time. So on the holiday, I was down there. And then Tuesday, I went to the Comedy Store again, but late. I usually go Tuesday because Joey's got a later spot, and I go hang with him. But before I went to the Comedy Store, I went to the Dime Bar. It's on Fairfax. Really funny comedian, very close friend of mine, Adam Hunter, runs it. He throws me spots every now and again. Haven't been there in a while, so I just popped in on Tuesday. And I almost didn't go. I almost told myself, like, what am I going to waste my time and go there for? I'm not even booked. Let me just go down to the store, hang for a little bit, and I'll come back home. I'm tired. And I just go like, you know what, man, I haven't been over there forever. I forced myself to go down to that little bar show. That's actually a really dope room to work out in. And I forced myself to go down there. And did I get on stage? No. My buddy Adam Hunter, he panicked when he saw me. He was like, oh, fuck, did I book you today? I forgot. I go, no, bro, you didn't book me. I came down to say hello, and I haven't been here in a while. And I just hung out. But you know what did happen? I ran into another comic who I haven't seen in years. And he goes like, dude, what are you up to? And I'm just like, oh, man, just trying to get spots wherever I can. My summer was kind of slow. And he's like, bro, I got this new room every Tuesday and Thursday. He goes, are you available? And I'm like, for which one? He goes, every Tuesday and Thursday this month. I got workout spots for you. And I was just like, really? He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, which Tuesdays and Wednesdays are you available? I'm like, I'll take all those. You're the ones that I was available. I took them. That's what happens when you go out. Which was another thing that I was going to talk to you guys about. Of just, you hear me say it all the time. The saying, nothing good happens on the couch. Nothing good happens at home. You got to go out. And that's what it is. Nothing's happening. I'm not getting spots. I'm not getting booked. But you still have to go put in the work. It's going to add up. Things happen. I got the phone call from the lady because Schubert recommended me. I got all these spots from that guy because I've known him for years. This happens from not like one night I went out and I got lucky and ran into a guy who had spots. This happens from years of me forcing myself to go out every night. And you meet people and you've known them for years. So when you see them again, stuff happens. Is it always going to happen? No. But it definitely will not if you don't do anything. The universe has its way of taking care of you, okay? I think that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I was going to talk to you about this new challenge that I have for myself, and some writing, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the new challenge, and I think I'm going to say that for another one because I think I talked about everything in there. I'll bring it up. Trust me, I'm not going to forget. I'll bring it up in another episode coming up soon because it's something like new that I'm working on, that I'm currently working on like all month. So the challenge is basically me not having any sugar this month. So I'll talk to you about that in a future episode. The other challenge is more of an experiment, is me not smoking weed, which I'll talk to you about that in a future episode. And writing like all my ideas for these new jokes and stories that I want to try out. So I'll save that all for another episode, which I'll most likely do when we have a guest here. But for now, this is all that I wanted to get out to you guys. So this is what I wanted to talk about. I do have some shout outs. Let me get my notes here. Here's some Twitter shout outs for you. I want to give a shout out to Ronan Sav and my buddy Mario Tarded on Twitter. And I want to give a shout out to Grandpa Nicotine. I know that you got lost there, you got a little busy, but now you're catching up on past episodes, and it's good to have you back. I want to give a shout out to some Instagram followers, Kay Nelson, Steph Money, and Al fucking Hernandez, the best Instagram name in the business. Thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. Like I said, those other topics, so we'll get into the main topic of this solo podcast, was talking about my bullet points here that I wrote down, which is don't let things get you down. Remind yourself that this is normal and it will get better as long as you put the work in. And remind yourself that somebody else always seems like they're doing something better, and you should just appreciate where you are, and the rest is going to come. Okay? And how it's easy to feel depressed, and it's easy to feel neglected, excluded, forgotten, and it's easy to feel like you'll never work again. And when things like that do get you down, because it's going to keep happening, just remember that the universe takes care of you as long as you do your part. Okay? Always do your part. Somebody could, if you realize that, like, you know, what you're doing is not working and you're going through rough times and you're not getting anywhere, if you stop doing anything and just go, it was a waste of time, I was trying hard and apparently that didn't work, so why try it all type of attitude, then people could always say, well, you're not doing nothing about it. You know, it looks really bad when you're just sitting there laying around, and then you'll go, oh, I tried it once. People are not going to believe you. If things are bad, but you're doing your part, no one can say shit. Because you're doing your thing. You're still working at it. And then, while you're doing that, the universe is looking out for you. No one can say anything as long as you never gave up. Even if things are bad, at least you never gave up. And when you don't give up, eventually good things come around. And by the time that they come, you'll be ready for them. Because you got the experience and you've ate dirt long enough. All right, you guys. That's the episode, this solo episode of just me, no guest, no co-host. I hope that it was helpful. I hope I didn't rant on for too long. And I didn't even do any sponsors in the beginning. Oh, wait, yes, I did. I did the Boomer Natural Wellness. And so don't forget to use the code LittleD20 at checkout to get 20% off at Boomer Natural Wellness for all your CBD and infused organic CBD infused products. And don't forget to click the link in the description for DeLorean Motor. Dude, my brain's all over the place. For the Too High McFly podcast about movie podcast, check it out. And also, you guys, we did a promotion last weekend. Hopefully, some of you took advantage of it for the percentage off of getting Homeschooled Pod T-shirts and merchandise and stuff like that. But if you didn't, I'm not mad at you. I just appreciate you listening. But it does help us out a lot if you go to homeschoolpod.com. Go ahead and click on merch, and you can see our T-shirts, mugs, and beach towels, and like I got yoga pants for the chicks, tank tops for guys, tank tops for girls, cell phone cases. It's all on there with the dope ass Homeschooled podcast design, which is the Homeschooled Podcast Ex-President series. It's a badass design that my co-host Kevin Lyons designed, and check it out. It's dope because it's for a limited time. I'm only keeping it for the first for episode 200 through 300. When episode 300 comes out, I'm taking those T-shirts away, and there'll be a different design. Okay, so you're gonna want to have it while it's still collector's item. The Ex-President series of the Homeschooled Podcast T-shirts. If you're wondering why it's called Ex-President series, go check it out for yourself. It's badass, and it just really is a great way to support the podcast. Okay, you guys, and I'm pretty sure that's it. I'll see you soon. I hope that you guys are having a great week. I hope that you have a safe weekend. Stay cool out there. Fucking summer is over, bitches. We're back. It's Homeschooled Podcast.